Hello, good morning everyone. Here in this video we are going to see how project part 3 is implemented. Already project part 1 and part 2 is implemented with Java and SQL. So the part 3 is mainly for the root user to fetch the cool YouTube's top questions or like that. And the technical part will be shown by me and the demo will be shown by Gabe. So let's see what is cool YouTubes. Cool YouTubes is list all the YouTubes which has review that is excellent. We need a question and we need a YouTube page, and we also need a question with a link so that if we click the question, all the YouTubes will be listed. It is something like this. So this is the first script. If you run this, we'll get the page, and I've logged in as a root user. So once you log in, you will get all these buttons for cool YouTube's new questions, everything. So if you click the cool YouTube's, you'll get the uh, uh, YouTubes that receive the reviews as excellent, and we'll get the video title question below, and beside that we'll also have the question with the link. So if we click the question, we'll get all the YouTubes, not only the excellent reviews, we'll get all the YouTubes that is there for that YouTube. We can go back to cool YouTubes or back to root login. So this is how it is implemented. So if we want to see, so this is the root login page. This is the first script, house renovation first.jsp. The root login page is this. So if we search for root cool URL here, it comes here. So this was already taken. So this is this root cool URL. This method is called from DAO. So when we go to that method, it fetches records based on this query. What is done in this query is we are joining three tables: question, video, and reviews. Because the reviews table, we have the score that is excellent. So we are joining question and video table and video and the reviews table. Based on that, we are retrieving all the records. We are fetching the distinct records because there is a possibility of getting a duplicates because of reviews, multiple reviews. So here we need to take question ID, because here it is implemented like if we click the question, the URLs that is pertaining to this question should retrieve. So for that we need the question ID, but it will be hidden in there, but we have to fetch that information. So once that is fetched, it will be saved in this strings, and it is passed to this array, and we will call this list cool url.jsp. So what is done in here is so this is for the button that go back to root login, and so what is here is you will list the URL and question, and we are listing URL here. Below that we are listing video title and question, and this is for the link for the question name. So here we will display the question name. So if you click this href is for the link. If you click the question name, what happens is it passes the question ID for this. So this, if you go back to the control servlet, it will calls this method in here, root list URL. Okay. So it fetches the question get parameter as question ID, and it calls this method in people Devo. What it does is for the passed question ID, it fetches all the URL, and that is present in the video table, and it is put it in an array, and that will be returned in here, and this in turn list all the questions that is pertain to. So here all the URLs for the question. So what is done in here is we will fetch so while passing while passing the question ID. So while calling the root list URL, we'll pass question ID and also cool Q, a variable. This is a kind of a common common method that is called for listing the URLs for the question ID. So we need a back button like this for each and everything. For example, see if it's for cool YouTubes, we have something like this. This is the new questions. So there is no questions right now. I'll show that. We'll have a demo about it. So if you do an initialize button, if you go back, now you click that, okay, you will have the question. So again, if you click see, it should go back to the today's question. So if we go back, it we will get something like this, and this. So all the back button should be corresponding to pertaining to that question. So that is taken care in here. So while calling, we will pass the corresponding thing in here. This is from cool Q. So while listing, it will check whether this is, it will get the attribute. Here we will get that parameter. Okay. And that set that attribute. And here we will get that attribute. Here we will get the attribute, and here we will see if that is not null, then back to cool YouTube's button will be enabled. If today's question is not null, then back to today's question button will be enabled. So this is a common GSP for all the questions that displays the corresponding URLs. So for each, it will display every URL that is present in the array list. Next is new questions, that is those who have posted today's questions. I'm sorry. So if you go back in here, if you search this one, you can see this is the root today's question. So it will go to this call the people DAO. What does this? It fetches question ID username from question where the posted date is equal to current date. Here we will do the date conversion and we'll match it. We'll fetch all the question ID and username similar to that list today question. So we'll go here. What happens is we will set this parameter today question. It displays all the questions with a link root list URL. We already saw this. This will get the two parameters like question ID and today's question. So if today's question, so for this question, what this will do is it will fetch all the URLs for this question ID from video table, and here it will check for the attribute, and if that attribute is set, it will display this, go back to today's question, and it will display all the videos pertaining to that question ID. And next is hot YouTubes, list 3 YouTube, where most of the reviews from the most to least. Okay, so YouTubes that received most number of reviews. Okay, so we'll come back here. This is hot URL. So after today's question, it's hot URL in here. Here we will get this. Go to this DAO. What we will do is we will take the URL, count it as review count, group by URL. Okay, so we need the count for each URL. Okay, so we need to group by URL, and we need to do the order by descending because here it is mentioned from most to least. Here it is mentioned most to least. So we need to do order by descending and limit 3. We need to display only 3 records. So this is done here, and it comes back here. It will list root hot URL. So it will list all the URLs and the number of accounts. Next is top questions. List the DIY question that has the most number of YouTube videos. Okay. If there is a tie, only one. If there is tie, we need to list all the records. Okay. So we'll go to the top question. This is the top question, and we'll call this, oh my, I'm sorry for that. This is popular tags. This is top questions. Okay. So what we have done is, it's a quite big query. What we have done in here is, so we'll come from inner query. What we have done is, we will take the question ID, the URL count from video table, group by question ID. So for that question ID, how many URLs were present? Okay, and order by descending. Okay, so this we will take. So next is this select statement, because we want the first, right? We want only the first record. What this will do is, from this subquery, it will rank the count URL descending, so that the number of counts which it has, like for example, if it has 5, it will be marked as number 1. So if all others are 5 less than 5, it will be like the below rank. So we will take the rank 1. Okay, so now we want the question finally, right? We only got the question ID. So since it has more records, more attributes it fetch, so what we are doing is just take the question ID, URL and rank count. And from here, we are joining with question table for the question ID to fetch the question. So what we are doing is, we are just taking the count here, and in the next subquery, we are ranking it. And for the ranked record, we are taking the question ID and matching with question table to take the corresponding question. Okay, so this is how it is implemented for the top questions. So if you go back here, it will come here. So root top question. Like that, it displays only the question with the link href. We will pass the question ID and top question to this, and so for this question ID, it will fetch all the URLs, and this attribute will be set. If this attribute is set, then it will just go back to top questions. So top queue means go back to top questions. And next is popular tags. List tags that have been used by at least F users. So this is the popular tags. So how it is implemented is, we need to first we'll look into this. For each and everything, the query will be displayed below. So if you want to run the query, you can take the query from below, copy paste it, in the SQL, it will give the records. Okay, so if someone wants to test it, then it can be done. So what we can do it here, what we are doing it here is, we are doing okay, So what we are doing it here is for each question we need to fetch the tags, right? So we will fetch the tags based on tag for the question ID. We'll take the username and tag word. Okay, we will group the tag name and we want the tag count should be greater than or equal to half of the users. This query will take the count from users table and it will divide it by 2 and we will round it. So it should be greater than or equal to half of the users. And we will fetch the corresponding tag and count. Why we take the username here is we want, see for an example, a same user could have used the same tag for all this question. So it should not happen. The half of the users should have done that, used that. So for that purpose, we are taking this username and we are grouping, so we are using the distinct so that for each user distinct tag word will be present, right? So that part is taken care here. So if distinct is not present, all the tag words that used by username will be coming in, and we might think that half of the users has used that tag word, but no, one single user would have used it like multiple times. Because of that, it could have fetched. So that is the reason we have given distinct in here. And this will fetch all the tags and it will come here and it will root pop tags. It will displays all the tags. Okay. So I'll close the questions. I'll close that is not required so that it will be useful for us. Okay. It is not useful for us. Then is the common questions. This is kind of an interesting one. Given two users, X and Y, which are specified by a user with a drop down. So X and Y should have posted a YouTube for the same question. Okay. What we need to do is, I'm sorry. What we need here is, for this I'll show it in here. I'll close what I have logged in. 3, 4. So what we have given here is the demo part will be covered Gabe. So like kind of this is, so if it is Kim and Rita, they have a common YouTubes. So this is already tested. So kind of this should be, so they have posted a video for this common question. How do I say and do it? Okay. So if you click that, all the YouTubes that pertaining to that question will be shown. But this is the common question that they have posted the YouTube. Okay. So how this is implemented is, so this is the common question. So this is the common question. So if you go back in here, you will get this root common questions. So this is root common questions, and this people DAO object is called. What we have done here is simple. We are fetching all the usernames from users. So there is no duplicate record in here, right? So we are fetching all the usernames from user, and that will be displayed in here. For example, okay, root common questions .gsp. Okay. So it will display, it has drop down in here. So for each option, so this will, we will get as a display in here. So that is taken care in here by for each and option. And while you click the submit option, it go back here, rootless common question. So it come back in here, rootless common question. It gets the parameter that is set by the user, like user 1 and user 2. It will go back to the people DAO here. And what it does is, so it will check whether the user has posted a question, like posted the YouTube for that question ID, right? So for that we need to take the question ID. Here we have taken, okay, so, okay. So this is the innermost thing. What we have done is we have taken the question ID video table from username to from V2 to V1 we are joining. So the V1 is the outer one. We are doing the correlated subquery thing in here. So here it puts the username 1, here it puts the username 2, and this question ID and this question ID should match. That is correlated subquery. So that kind of check we have done in here, and we are taking all the question IDs, and that we were checking from question table. We are taking the question and question ID. So that is passed in here, rootless question. So what is done here is it's again a question with a link, and we will pass the question ID and common queue to a variable so that that back button should be posted, right? So this is for showing the back buttons to back group login, back to common questions. If there is no common question, like we need to go back. So again, it will, so this we already saw. So if you click this link, it go back this based on the question ID, it fetches all the QRL, and based on this, it displays. Okay. And next is top reviewer. Top reviewers list the reviewers who posted the most number of reviews. List the top user, there is no tie. All the reviewers, it should be a tie. So it's a kind of similar thing. If there is a tie, we will rank it as one only so that it will be fetched. Like here also we saw something like that. If this top questions. So how we will rank is for all the, if the count is same, they will get the same rank so that it will be displayed. I will go in here. What was we are talking about? Top reviewer. So this is the next thing which will come back in here. So root login. This is for the top reviewer button, top review, root top reviewers, and this is root top reviewers. If you go back to the people DAO, so as I say, we will rank. See. So first in the inner query, what we have done is we have taken the username and count of URL from reviews table, group by username. Okay, for each user, how many reviews we has done, we need to get that count, right? But what we are doing it here is, what we have done in here is, group by username and order this count descending, right? So based on that we can rank. Next we will do the select username and count. We will rank the column based on the count URL descending, and so once this count is done, we will fetch only the records that has a rank of 1. This will take care of the tie. So even if there is more than 2 record, more than 1 records with the rank 1, like more like, for example, if the rank 1 is like the reviewed 3 URLs, if Bill has done 3 and Rita has done 3, that will be set as rank 1 only. That is taken care in here. And we will fetch the first name and last name of the user. that is taken care. So this way the top reviewers, wait, I forgot the tag. Yeah, top reviewer is done. So for example, if you have done this, I'll go back to root logging. Okay, so top reviewers. See, there is a tie. So it is giving both the records. Okay. Then positive reviewers. List those users that have given some reviews. So and each review is either good or excellent. So which means the user should not have given any poor or fair reviews. So how that is done is we have selected there is an inner subquery which will select the usernames who gave poor and fair reviews, and the outer query will select good and excellent but username not in the subquery. So it will filter out if the user has given any poor or fair comments. So this is how the positive reviews is done. And poor questions is like list those questions that all their YouTubes have discovered I've received some comments, but those comments are all poor. So the questions that has all poor, not even a single fair or good or excellent is present. So how that is implemented is, so all the questions that are all poor comments, not even a single fair or good or excellent comment, that needs to be fetched in here. How this is done is, see, everything is like in line. People DAO. So if you go to the controller servlet, it is in inline like root poor questions. So this one. And so what we have done it here is, here also we have a subquery. Here this will take the question IDs that have fair, good and excellent, and so which one is left is poor. So it will fetch all the fair, good and excellent question IDs, and here we'll pick the question ID and question that is where the question ID not in this. So this will, here we will get only the poor question and question IDs. And so as I said, this control servlet root poor question.jsp, here the question will be in a link with passing the question ID and FOQ. This will be passed to this one, which will list all the URLs related to that question based on this QID. The final one is inactive users. So the user who have just created the registered but not posted any question or YouTube video or reviews or nothing. So how that is implemented is, so we'll go root inactive users, and if you go in here, we'll fetch the username from question, union video, union reviews. So all these will be is a subquery, and if the user is not in any of this, then that is the user who has been inactive, just created but not posted a question, video or reviews. So that will be displayed in here. So this root inactive users .jsp. So it will list the first name and last name of the user. Thank you for watching my video.
Hello, this is just the quick demo for part 3 of the DSE 6100 project, and just wanted to kind of go over the final demo just so you can see the full functionality that we got going on within this project. So we've already gone ahead and initialized the database, and the first number of part 3 is cool YouTubes, and we want to list those DIY YouTubes who receive some reviews, and each of them is excellent. And we want to make sure that the question is shown in the page beside the title as a link. So after clicking the link, all of the DIY questions will be listed. So if we go to cool YouTubes, we can see that there is a link on there, and when we click that, we look at all of the questions listed for that. So we are good to go. Second point, we want to see all the DIY questions posted today. So if we go to the new questions link, we can see all of these questions have a posting date of today, which can be seen within the database as well. Now, the third one is we want to see the top 3 YouTubes or hot YouTubes who've received the most number of reviews from most to least. So if we click on the hot YouTubes button, we can see the number of reviews, and we can see that these two have the same amount of reviews. So it doesn't really matter in that case, but we can see that the one that received the most amount of reviews is listed on top. So going back to the root login, the next number that we have actually is the top questions. So the top questions, we want to list the DIY questions that have the most number of YouTube videos, and we want to list that top question if there is no tie, and we want to list all the top questions if there is. So if we go to the top questions button, we can see that there is just one, how do I sand wood, and there's a link there, and we can see all of the different videos for sanding the wood. So going back to the login there, we're going to go to the next part, which is the popular tags, and those are tags that have been used by at least half of the users. So if we go to popular tags, click there, we can see that easy and home are the most popular tags that have been attached to the different videos. The next thing that we have is we have common questions. So if we have 2 users, we want to list that common questions that both users, if we have a user X and user Y, we want to see the common questions between the 2 of them. So if we go to common questions, we can see that there is a drop down of all the different users. So if we look at, say, Bill, for instance, Bill will have a common question with himself, how do I paint a chair? But say, for instance, we have one with Jill, we'll see that there are no common questions. So depending on if the questions that have been asked are the same between Bill and another user, we will see a little bit of a difference there. So going back to the root login, we also want to see the top reviewer, and we want to list the users that have posted the most number of reviews, listing the top user if there is no tie, and list all the top tied users if there is a tie. User's name must be associated with a link, so when the link is clicked, all the YouTubes posted by the users will be listed. So with top reviewers, we can see that there is a tie between Mary and Prashant. And then we have positive reviewers, and we want to see that all those who have given reviews that are either good or excellent. So you can see that this list of users have posted the reviews that are good or excellent. Going back to that root login, we got a couple of points left. We have some poor questions. So we want to see YouTubes that have received comments, but all of them are poor. So if we go to poor, we can see how do I cut wire? Or how do I plunge a toilet? Obviously those are not very popular. And last, we want to see any user who has not posted a YouTube, a question, or a comment. And if we go to an active user, we see that Billy Joe has not posted any YouTube, a question, or a comment. He is inactive. All right, that is the end for the part 3 demo. Thank you so much for watching and for going through our project with us. Thanks.